Alrighty, guys. Hello. My apologies for not doing a stream this morning. I got up late, slept a little later, and yeah, trying to get a little bit rested up for today because God knows how long we'll be on tonight. It's probably a good chance we'll be on most of the night tonight. So I will let you guys know this is going to be a brief live stream. We'll be on here till about 6:30, 6:45-ish, 7-ish. And I've got both the kids here tonight because Rochelle is in Chicago, so I'll have to get them fed and get them into bed. So we'll do a little live stream here now, and then we're going to do our main coverage live stream tonight, probably around 9:30, 10-ish, and that'll go through the overnight hours until we're exhausted and dead and can't be on here anymore. So that is a game plan for now. Welcome in if you guys are watching on YouTube and on TikTok. Appreciate you guys for hopping in. Appreciate the weather team for being in here as always. We've got some interesting things to go over here. We still got Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. This is continued to strengthen, and you can see right now it's kind of outside the cone. This will update here in just a few minutes. We'll get some new data in here. There is a chance that this does shift a little bit further to the west. You're basically trying to take a Category 5 hurricane and turn it straight 90 degrees at an angle here, so it's going to take a little bit of time, and sometimes these take a little bit longer, but we've got a Hurricane Hunter plane that's flying in there now, so we're going to watch that. But the general gist here is this is still all the ensembles, all the models agree on a northeast turn here, and that's what's going to happen. So pretty confident in that. But just taking a look at Melissa here this afternoon, a beautiful Category 5 hurricane that is going to change the landscape is the word I would use here across Jamaica as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours. And eventually this will come into Cuba and then up to the Bahamas. And then by Thursday into Friday, this is moving through Bermuda. And then it is off to the hurricane graveyard and out to sea by Friday into Saturday. So we've got basically the whole week to talk about this system and continuing to see some intensification here. Those darker to lighter colors that are popping up around the center, maybe even a tighter circulation here. We may start to see the eye shrink down here. So our best case scenario for this storm to maybe weaken just slightly would be an eye wall replacement cycle. I don't see that happening right now, or at least in the attempt process of happening. So this thing is going to continue to be robust. Right now, taking a look at the latest advisory, we are at 175 mile per hour winds sustained inside of Melissa here, with a maximum wind gust of 215, at least on the forecast advisory. But earlier this morning, when the Hurricane Hunter planes were in there, they actually got a wind gust of 241 miles per hour. So this storm is already overproduced pretty much in every category that you can think of. This has now gone down as the driest storm on record in terms of the center of circulation here. There is a lot of dry air in the middle of that, where that low pressure is at. This is officially the driest low-level center and mid-level center pressure reading that we've ever had in any hurricane in history. So that set a record today, and I believe the surface wind gust that we got today of that 241 also was a record today. So this is producing literally every record that you can think of, at least at some point here in the future. We've got some models that still bring this below 900, so I'm very interested to see once this plane gets in here, what are we gonna get? Are we gonna get a sub 900? Are we gonna be close to? Has it increased? Has this weakened a little bit? We're gonna have to just kind of wait and see. But just based off of the satellite here, at least on the right eye wall here, there's a lot more pink showing up, which I would think therefore is a little bit stronger of a storm here, at least on the eastern side here. I want to also let y'all know they had reports, and this is going to sound crazy, but this is from the National Hurricane Center. When they were flying that plane in there this morning, we had reports of birds flying stuck in the eye wall, flying in about 200-mile-an-hour winds. I don't know how those birds are alive or what in the heck how that even got to that point, but we have birds in the eye wall this morning when the National Hurricane Center was in there flying in that thing. So weird shit happens. Birds are real. That's crazy. But yeah, weird stuff happens. So I will let you guys know we do have cameras tonight. As long as those cameras will stay functional, we have cameras, so we will be seeing inside Jamaica this evening. I did get some access to get some of those, so we'll have that. That'll be on our live stream tonight. We'll take a look at some of those here in just a few minutes, but we're really just kind of waiting to see what the data is going to be that comes in here on this next trip in here. It's just, guys, just prayers and thoughts. Honestly, all we can do right now is pray and hope for the best here in the islands. This is going to be a shitty situation, and like, I mean, this is going to suck. This is really going to suck. I'm going to read to you guys the latest wording from the National Hurricane Center here on the 5 o'clock update, so you guys can understand what we're looking at here with this storm. And if you guys have been paying attention here the last couple of live streams, you'll definitely understand. But once again, here is the latest update, the 5 o'clock update in here. Not much has changed other than a 10-mile wind increase here. We are 175 mile per hour wind sustained. This is the highest, by the way. I went back and looked at some history. in my video this morning, I had said that Wilma held the record for the strongest winds. Actually, Hurricane Allen, back in 1985, had the latest or the strongest winds in the Atlantic Basin at 190 miles per hour. So we are about 15-mile-an-hour wind shy of the strongest hurricane in Atlantic Basin history. And good thing is this is not coming toward the United States. But bad thing is this is going to go through some major islands. And pressure, like I said, 906 right now. I bet that number is going to probably decrease or go down in terms of intensity here. So we'll see what the flyby is, moving northwest at 3 miles per hour. So it's still taking a west-northwest jog. It hasn't officially curled all the way to the northeast yet, but it is expected to do that here very, very soon. Here is the latest rainfall total update here from the National Hurricane Center. We are expecting a widespread 20 to 30 inches of rainfall here from basically central Jamaica back from south to north end here. Most of the island here will see over 2 feet of rainfall at some extent. Some areas could see 3, some areas could see 4. We now have upped totals here now for eastern Cuba, now showing the potential for 20 to 30 inches of rainfall here in the next 3 days across Cuba. These are like Helene-like totals. If you guys remember what happened with Hurricane Helene last year, these are basically those rainfall totals over higher mountaintops. This is going to be a catastrophic situation for these islands here, and it's the amount of recovery that is going to have to happen after this is quite crazy. It's just insane to me. Right now, landfall is projected for around sunrise tomorrow morning. So we will be here for that tomorrow morning once that gets here. Like I said, we'll be live stream covering this tonight through tomorrow morning. This live stream will be until about 6:30, 6:45, and then we'll get on and do our main coverage live stream tonight as things are getting crazy. Staying a major hurricane all the way through Wednesday, and then eventually weakening to a Cat 2 hurricane. We now have hurricane warnings from Jamaica all the way to the eastern Bahamas. So you see these red shaded colors here. We have hurricane warnings in the eastern Turcos and Caicos Islands, eastern Bahamas, and into eastern Cuba, as well as pretty much all of Jamaica. And then eventually hurricane watches will get issued for Bermuda as this moves its way off into the, I like to call it the hurricane graveyard, is where most of these storms typically die out at there. So once again, this is just a horrific day, guys. Like I said, if any of you guys pray, if anybody has any type of religious beliefs, just pray. That's what these people need. And continuing from what we were talking about yesterday, I've seen lots of people that decided to stay, not because they couldn't leave. There's some people that couldn't leave. Money's one thing, you know, people have to work through this. I get that 100%. Some people don't want to leave because it's their home. I get that. Absolutely understandable. There are some people that are not certified storm chasers that are there to make content on social media. That's why some people are there, and it's absolutely stupid that people are doing that shit. I cannot stand it. That's how you drive up the fatality count, doing stupid stuff like that. So hopefully those people are okay and can make it through this, but I've seen a lot of posts and a lot of feed where people have been doing that, and it's just stupid. It's absolutely stupid. I don't know why somebody would want to put themselves in a situation if they have a chance to get out. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. But hopefully everybody in here can get through this and survive, regardless of what the mindset was going in and into why people wanted to stay. I just don't understand it. All right, so like I said, we're waiting on Recon to come in here. We've got 2 planes heading in there right now. We got Mission 22 heading in there, and we have Mission 21. And Mission 21 is just now starting to get into the western side of our storm here. So we're going to get a little bit of a track update, I would think, here. We're going to see an intensity potential update as well. It looks like we have some new kind of eye banding kind of forming around the center here. So we'll keep an update on that as well here. And as we get those updates in terms of pressure and all of that, we'll keep you guys updated. Other than that here as well, just taking a look at the satellite as well, you can see there's lots of lightning ongoing in here. And that's typically meaning that we have strengthening going. As long as you see lightning wrapped around the outer eye wall here, there's always going to be strengthening to some extent here. So that's something we're also looking at here. Lots of convection ongoing. You can still see that clear slot there where the eye wall is at. But once again, just impressive all around what this storm is doing, and it's going to continue to stay like this in terms of how things go here. I do have a little bit of that is not what I wanted to do. I do have a update here on the models. Let's see here. Let's go to our hurricane models here. We'll pull this up. We can see what we're looking at. I do want to go, let's go with the HAFS first, because this will have a better idea here. All right, let's see if these have updated. I think these are 12Z that came in, so we don't have 18Z quite yet. Yeah, so 12Z, the 12Z run had this thing lowering, I think this is the HAFSA, has this lowering to about 905, 904. So we may maintain strength. We may, strengthen a little bit. We could weaken a little bit here, but I do still think 907, 910 is going to be the range that this makes landfall in terms of pressure wise. And then eventually this will move north through the islands, through the Bahamas, through Cuba, and then there she goes out to sea. So this is going to still stay a pretty strong hurricane. I think the HAFSB was a little bit stronger. Yeah, it had this going down to 892 millibars, which would be right around this time frame here. So we'll see what recon does. Recon is going to be very, very important in terms of this update here and what happens on the 8 o'clock advisory this evening. So if they see that winds and pressure has dropped significantly, they'll do a special update sometimes. But I could see this being a reality here. 892 would be ridiculous, but it's definitely not impossible. So it looks like the HAFSB also has this making landfalls 901, so would also make sense because pressure right now, like I said, is 906. So like I said, we'll see what recon does here in just a little bit once it gets in there. How many people evacuated? I don't know the answer to that, but what I do know is there's lots of people still there. There are lots of people there. People that didn't want to stay, that didn't want to leave, which makes sense, but people that also came to the island to just be there and say I was in a major hurricane. It's just stupid stuff. It's absolutely insane to me. Also, guys, oh yeah, I was gonna read to y'all the wording. Give me 1 second here. Where's this at? There we go. I want to read you all the wording here because this is what the National Hurricane Center meant or messaged a couple minutes ago here. I'm going to read this to you guys. This is for the island of Jamaica. Hold on 1 second. Okay. It says, Jamaica, remain in your safe shelter and do not venture outside. Catastrophic, life-threatening flash flooding and numerous landslides are expected through Tuesday. The eye wall's destructive winds may cause total structure failure, particularly in high elevations, leading to widespread infrastructural damage, prolonged power communication outages, and isolated from the outside world. Along the southern coast, life-threatening storm surge and damaging waves are anticipated through Tuesday. That is some of the most scariest wording I've seen from the National Hurricane Center since Helene or Katrina. Helene was in terms of the rainfall when they were basically kind of talking about apocalyptic scenarios almost with that system. This basically applies to the same thing here. So, like I said, this is just awful. When is landfall? Early tomorrow morning between 6 and 8 a.m. Could be pushed back just a little bit due to a little bit of a wobble. I did notice, like I said, we had a little bit of a westerly jog since the latest advisory. So we can see it's still trying to trend a little bit further to the west-northwest here. A lot of times these major hurricanes can take a little bit longer to intensify, but eventually we've got this huge trough. And let me see if I can pull it up. I'm going to show you guys something here. Hold on 1 second. Thought I had. Yeah, so you guys see this. It's going to be hard to see. Actually, let me do it this way. Hold on. Let's do it this way here. Okay, you guys see this dip in the jet stream right in here. You got our big upper level low here that was causing our storms. This low, this trough that's hanging all the way down here is what's going to kick Melissa out to sea. So sometimes these storms hang around just a little bit longer just due to the timing of the trough and everything, but the general forecast still stands for a northeast track. This eliminates the Gulf. This eliminates the East Coast. There's no physical possible meteorological way that this system could come anywhere near the United States whatsoever. It's going to basically be like taking a baseball bat and hitting the baseball and swinging this thing out to sea. So that's what we're going to be looking at here with this system. That's why it's not, it may take a little bit longer to get going to the northeast, but once this does get picked up, it's going to get going and it'll be moving out pretty quickly. So that's the plan here. Let me get this pulled back up for you guys. If you guys are new to the stream, do hit that follow button. Welcome in. I appreciate y'all very, very, very much. Like I said, this is going to be a brief live stream. We'll be on here for about another hour and 15 minutes, and then I've got to get the kiddos to bed and get them fed, and then we're going to be back on tonight around 9:30, 10-ish. We'll have live cameras. We'll have everything up. We will be live tracking this as long as physically possible tonight. If I can get an all-nighter in with you guys, I have yet to pull an all-nighter this year. I've not had to, so if we can get an all-nighter in tonight, that'd be great. If not, we'll break it up in pieces where I may take a nap like early in the morning and then be up for landfall. But we're going to be here for landfall, best bet. We will be here to cover landfall. Absolutely. 100%. I am not missing history happening, and I'm not going to, not let people know what's happening. So we will definitely be here for landfall for sure. I am trying to find, there it is. I was like trying to find where this is at. So I appreciate y'all very, very much for all of the follows. Thank you, thank you. All right. Like I said, hurricane hunters are going in. We are going to see what we get here. This does take, every 10 to 15 minutes, this will update. So I do think personally, given what we're looking at right now, just over the last couple of hours now, this looks to be a lot tighter of circulation and two, a lot lighter colors. And what that typically means is that we may still have very, very strong winds inside this storm. I think we're looking at 180, maybe 185 potentially. So we'll see what recon gets. But I think this recon update is going to be very, very interesting. And this may decide if our storm has hit peak already or if pressure is lower and we're getting ready to go through a replacement cycle or something like that. It'll give us an idea. So yeah, the Hurricane Hunter planes, there are so many posts on social media today of the stadium effect happening. I can't show those on stream due to copyright, but there's a lot of pictures on social media right now of the Hurricane Hunter planes going in there that it's been crazy. It's been insane. The Hurricane Hunter planes this morning had to turn around and abort their mission after flying in twice because the turbulence was so bad with this go around. And that's rare that those planes have to do that. So it just goes to tell you how intense this storm is. Do I have anybody in chat that has friends or family that's in Jamaica by happens means? I'm just out of curiosity. Is there anybody, and please be honest, don't say it just to say it if it's not true. Like, be honest with me. Do I have anybody in here that has friends, family, or anybody that's in Jamaica watching? I'm just curious. I'm gonna probably guess that we have probably a couple people, but I'm not too sure. Got family? Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I know there's definitely, I've got some viewers I know that have family. Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all for watching. We're going to be here to keep y'all safe. I know there's going to be a lot of other weather streamers and non-weather streamers out there covering, so I do appreciate y'all for hanging out here. I am almost a degreed meteorologist, guys, so I do have some sort of almost credentials. I've also backed by a lot of other meteorologists. You'll see a couple of them come in the streams here and there, but I've been doing weather coverage for almost 10 years now. This is not my first rodeo with hurricane coverage, and this is not my first rodeo in terms of anything, in terms of weather, so we'll be here to get you guys through it as we always do. That is the game plan. So prayers and thoughts with everybody's family that's there. Like I said, some people were able to leave, some people were not. I know a lot of people were not leaving because they were charging $2,000 a person to get on an airplane to leave, which is the most stupidest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. You're basically telling people if they don't have enough money to leave that they're gonna stay. It's just stupid. It's just insane. I saw that and I was just like, oh my gosh, what in the world? What is going on? So yeah. Just crazy stuff. Yeah, they're just waiting. Yeah, and that's all you can do at this point. That's all you can do. I will let you guys know in the real sense of things here, okay? Once this storm makes landfall and once hurricane force winds get in there, the odds of communication outages for a lengthy amount of time is going to be a big time thing. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I think we all know what the realization is of what's getting ready to happen here. If you guys remember what happened with Hurricane Helene last year in the mountains in Western North Carolina and South Carolina, that's, where my hometown is. I grew up there. I was not able to communicate with any of my family for 10 days because text messages wouldn't go through, phone calls wouldn't go through, none of that. Their infrastructure here is a lot different and it's built to handle hurricanes. They've had them in the past, but it's not like ours. So I would expect outages for, power and infrastructure and communication. We're talking maybe 2-3 potential weeks, maybe even longer than that, depending on what the damage is. So like I said, that's just kind of one of those things that we are going to hope and pray does not happen, but it's the reality of what's actually happening. I don't give fear. I don't give fear mongering or hype or any of that stuff. I give you all the legit information, and that's just how it is. When you have this powerful of a hurricane that is moving its way in favor of an island to this intensity, you basically almost have to think of a worst case scenario, and this is worst case scenario. So now, one thing that would be interesting, I will make a note here. I will say this. We've seen hurricanes sometimes take a lot longer to turn. Right now, we're seeing a westerly jog. It's almost outside of the cone. I don't want anybody freaking out. This happens. We saw this with Aaron. We saw this. A lot of major hurricanes do this. Here would be some interesting scenario. If this were to shift west, we do have a couple of runs, a couple ensembles that do show kind of a westerly landfall here. Pretty much every single ensemble has a landfall. So, but we do want to think about one thing here. We do want to think about something. If a further west track were to happen, and this either, say, were to not make landfall, let's just say if it weren't, say if it was, whatever happens here, This pushes the storm surge forecast a lot further to the west, and it adds a lot more of those heavier rainfall totals. So a lot of people are saying, oh, if it misses and it doesn't quote unquote make a landfall, the center of circulation passes over the island. If that weren't to happen for whatever reason, this brings a lot more heavier rainfall in, and it brings a lot more storm surge in. The hurricane force winds would be further to the west in that situation if that were to happen, but it's going to make the 13-foot storm surge basically come across the whole entire island on the southern end. So a lot of people think that, you know, a landfall or a non-landfall would be a big difference. In reality, in this type of a situation with the intensity of the storm, it wouldn't. Even if per se some weird situation happened, this is like a 0.1% probably of happening. Say this were to completely miss and go north, something like that BS. There would still be major impacts regardless of this. So the forecast models have done very, very good this hurricane season. I'm in full support of the forecast, and I am in full support of what is going to happen. So we're just going to watch. That's all we can do at this point is watch and see what happens. It is still moving southwest currently. It was actually the National Hurricane Center had it as northwest. So yeah, it doesn't seem like there is an escape route. And we've been talking about that for a couple of days now. So, we'll just, like I said, see how this plays out. Hurricane hunters are going in there. Hurricanes are going to wobble. You can see there's a southwest trend here. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, it's moving southwest. We're all gonna, you know, lose it because it's going somewhere else. Hurricanes wobble. They wobble. They wobble more than people think. So, this is, like I said, a very, very normal thing to see. Like I said, the hurricane tracks have done very, very good this year. So we're about to get our first fly-in of the afternoon, guys, from the Hurricane Recon. So this is going to be very important information. This is a live track of the Hurricane Hunter planes going in there, and pretty much looks like they're going to hit spot on here, hopefully. So we'll get an idea of what that looks like here in just a few minutes. There is Roro. Y'all say hi to Roro in chat there. She is in Chicago at a concert. So good to see my lovely significant other in here. She's like 6 hours away from me, so. But make sure y'all hit that follow button. Like I said, we're going to be live for about another hour here. And then I'm going to get off, get the kids taken care of, get them to bed, get them fed. And then we're going to be live covering this pretty much all night tonight in real time. I'll have cameras pulled up. I've actually got a couple cameras I can go and show you here that we can look at. Let's see here. Let me refresh. All right. 2 of these are down already, I believe, but we do have a couple. This is a very, very famous camera that's going around right now. That's in the, it's in Flatbridge. I believe this is where this is at. You guys can see it here. I'm going to tell you guys right now, with the amount of rain that they are about to get here, this bridge is going to be gone. I took a picture already before I got on stream, so I can do a time lapse later on, courtesy of ideas on my weather team from people that I appreciate, Steph and Liz and Mars. Thank you guys. I have a feeling this bridge is going to be completely gone, and the amount of water that's going to be flowing if this camera is still working in about 12 hours is going to be really interesting. But I think this bridge is going to be gone. I really, really do. Oh, look, they just zoomed into it. So yeah, this will be very, very interesting to see how this plays out. Very interesting. But yeah, I like I said, I think this bridge will be gone 100%. They're forecasted like 20 inches plus of rainfall here, so it looks very calm right now. But this also looks like it's in a mountainous area, so I would expect as well. Hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully it will be okay. But it's just based off of assumptions at this point. Oh look, the streetlights came on. Yeah, bridge will be covered, not gone. But it'll be interesting too, though. We have to think as well. We have to think as well, though. Debris in the river, debris like mudslides, landslides. If something like that were to happen, the bridge would be gone. I'm meaning when all of the water, when we start to get heavy rainfall and the flooding starts to happen, if we were to get like a landslide or a mudslide or something like that, we'll see what happens. I'm just making up theories at this point. We'll see what happens. The National Hurricane Center has basically said that all infrastructure in and around landfalling areas is pretty much going to be gone. Like it's likely that it's going to be gone. We will be checking in on this bridge though, for sure though. Hopefully it can stand the wrath of a Category 5 hurricane. So yeah, I think we're getting ready to get a sub 900 millibar 2 on Recon. I have a really bad feeling that we're going to be under that. I could see it. I could absolutely see it happening. We'll check back at it here in just a momento. Hurricane hunters are going in there now, so we'll see what Melissa is doing. I hope it does stand it. I really do. I really, really do. Let's see here. How fast is it moving right now? Technically, the storm is moving southwest at like 3 miles per hour. So the storm is moving at about 3 miles per hour. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna move around. It's gonna jog. It's starting to feel the trough. So eventually, we should start to see a northeast turn here very, very soon. But what's up, Anna? Good to see you. Thank you guys for all the follows. I really appreciate it. If you guys will do me the biggest of favors, I'm really trying to get everybody to head over to the YT channel. If you guys have not subscribed to me on the old YT, that big old red playbook button, we are also live on there as well. I go live on both platforms at the same time when we stream. Head over there and hit the sub button. I do make different videos in terms of my forecast over there than I do on here. They're in different formats and sometimes they're a little bit longer. That you can throw me up on your TV screen if you want to. So definitely head over there if you guys haven't subbed to me yet. I do appreciate it very, very, very much. I'm not doing any states today. What do you mean, John? Yes, that is very true. Jamaica houses are built very, very different. But also I need you guys to understand as well, there has never been a Category 4 or Category 5 hurricane ever in history to make landfall in Jamaica. The last time we had a storm to this capacity was a Cat 3, and that was Hurricane Gilbert back in 1988. That was the last landfall. So yes, infrastructure and the buildings may be durable, but you guys are about to see potential winds of up to 200 miles per hour. We had a wind gust inside Hurricane Recon this morning of 241 miles per hour gust wise. So I like I said, it's like basically taking an EF4, EF5 tornado and planting that over top of Jamaica for 12 plus hours and seeing what happens. That's what's going to happen. Like I said, I'm not, and I want, as much as I want all of this to come through, I want everything to, like I said, you know, everything to stay safe. I want everybody's houses to, you know, stay functional and everything. When the National Hurricane Center itself says, hey, infrastructural damage is likely, storm surge, you know, deadly storm surge, basically the National Hurricane Center is giving out the worst wording that they possibly can give, but by also not scaring people at the same time. So that's just, it's just the reality of it. That's just how it is. I want every single person to survive on this island, and I want every single person to keep their home and have no worries whatsoever. But are the odds of that happening likely? Hopefully so, yes, but we're just gonna have to see. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. Absolutely 100%. So landfall is expected early tomorrow morning. So I take it like this too as well. If you're higher up in Jamaica, if you're higher up elevation wise in Jamaica, you're going to have a better chance of seeing those damaging winds because you're higher up. If you're down at the sea surface where the ocean is at, where basically lower level elevation is at, you're going to have a better chance of being flooded with storm surge and gusty winds on top of it. So it's just, it's not a great situation all around whatsoever. Yeah, there is, as I mentioned a minute ago, a lot of people are coming in. They're seeing the eye move around. When you have a major hurricane like this, we saw this with Aaron. We saw this a lot with any hurricane we've had this year, all of them being majors almost. We've seen a wobble. It's going to wobble. We are basically waiting for this trough that's sitting off the east coast of the United States to take this thing out to sea. So until that trough, and when we start to see that interaction, it's been on a northwest track all day. It's going to have wobbles as it goes through its different cycles. It's very, very, very normal. So, but this is still expected to make a landfall. All of our ensembles show it. All of our data shows it. So I am in full agreement of that 100%. Once again, I was mentioning a minute ago, even if this were to miss Jamaica in terms of landfall, this would push the storm surge all the way over to the west side, and therefore the whole island would be at basically 9 to 13 feet of storm surge, which would make it worst case scenario as well. So whether you have a landfall or you don't have a landfall, this is going to do catastrophic damage no matter what. So, all right, 139. Let's see here what we're at. 928. 910. So we are at, looks like pressure on that run through is back up a slight little bit. Looks like 910. We'll see if that updates. They're going to have to go through I think the eastern side, southeastern side of the eye wall here, so it's going to be a little bit more intense. Yeah, the storm surge is going to be a big problem. Yeah, that's the biggest issue is I think personally the wind and the storm surge, and then like I said, we'll have the heavy rainfall on top of it. Yeah, live feed from the plane would be cool as well. Sadly, they don't do that. I wish they did. It would be awesome. I would definitely have it up if that was the case. But yeah, Hurricane Recon 910, so 910 millibars, so it's about 4 millibars higher than what the last run through was. But I think they went through, but I'm not too sure. We'll see if it updates here. Let me go back here and look at it. Yeah, I think they missed it too, is what it looks to be. I think they did miss the eye. That's why they go through a couple times. We'll see here. Yes, the right side of the east side of the storm is the dirtiest. Correct. Correct. Let's see here. Alrighty. I haven't seen anything yet posted, so I'm just kind of waiting to see. I'm waiting to see what they're going to do on this next update here. Yes, it is a Cat 5. Yes, it's been a Cat 5 for almost 18 hours now. Yeah, this can be like a Milton flashback. This is pretty much the same intensity as what Milton was when it was in the Gulf last year. Possibility that it misses Jamaica, I would say like a 1%. We'll see. Yeah, its landfall is projected in Jamaica, guys. It'll be tomorrow morning. It'll be tomorrow morning. The latest run through was the eye wall was 10 nautical miles wide, so we did see that. We've also got another plane that's also going on the western side of the storm right now as well, so we'll see what that looks like here in just a moment as well. It looks like that one was 910, so we'll see what they do here. Okie dokie. I'm just looking at a couple of the feeds coming in. All right, let me go back here and see if they'll update their fly through. This updates every 5 to 10 minutes, so that's where we see we'll see the next frame here. I bet the eastern side here is going to have a little bit more intensity. Usually the eastern side typically does, most times than not. Yeah, it's a very dangerous Cat 5. The pressure went up 4 millibars. It's not that big of a difference. Still an 800, still a 175 mile an hour Cat 5 sustained winds. Yeah, so a lot of the time, so you split your hurricane up in like a grid here. So you've got your winds flowing from the southwest to the northwest here, or southeast to the northwest. So with the winds flowing counterclockwise around the low pressure around the hurricane here, this pushes all of the water up into the shores and into Jamaica, which causes the storm surge. Also, we have outer bands that flow on the east side of the storm that cause tornadoes, spin up tornadoes. That's going to be another thing that we're going to have to watch for. It's just, and it deposits all of the rain on the northeast side of the storm compared to on the southwest side. You have mostly wind, and it's a little bit less crazy, but it's still hurricane force winds. So usually this side of the storm is typically the worst when you're looking at it. Yeah, there's a lot of animals too. There's a lot of animals that are going to be impacted with this as well. It's a really heartbreaking story. It honestly, it is. This was not on my end of the hurricane season bingo card this year. Vanessa, what do you mean like disruptions? No questions are done, by the way, guys. Ask any question. I'm here to answer them. We've got that other recon coming in here too, so I'm going to pull that up. I don't think it's updated on... Yeah, they don't have it on here yet, from what I can see of. So I'm going to have to wait, I think. Yeah, I'm waiting on the next one. There it is. Where are they at? There they are. They're still a little ways away. So they just had another plane fly out of... Where did that come from? All right, that looks like they came over there. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to watch that one as well. So we have 2 planes going in to get some data in. Yeah, landfall right now is forecasted between 6 and 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Could be sooner, could be later. Do I think it will remodel? You mean like go through an eyewall replacement cycle? It's possible. This storm has really not gone through an eyewall replacement cycle since it became a Cat 5 yesterday. It's gone through some mergers, which have kind of helped it continue to maintain its strength. But so far it's holding well here. I do think an eyewall replacement cycle is possible, therefore it could weaken just slightly, or sometimes they maintain intensity. It's basically when the wind field expands out, pressure drops. So we'll see what happens. We'll be, like I said, watching this tonight, but that would be a plus, I guess, be something positive. But then again, too, it could re-strengthen right back up. It's possible, Joe. It's possible. I think at this point, we're 15 to 25 mile per hour wind shy of that. We're definitely getting 200 plus mile an hour wind gusts, though. That's the issue. So 175 mile an hour wind sustained with, we had a 241 mile an hour wind gust earlier on recon this morning. We also had reports of birds flying in the center of the eye because they were stuck. Birds were flying. That was on the hurricane recon report this morning as well. But they had birds in the eye wall. Yes, actual flying birds. No, this doesn't disrupt sea life too much. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous waves out there, but I think the animals are pretty adaptive to that most of the times. Yeah, so what you guys are seeing, here's the cone. I know a lot of people are looking at, like, why is it moving to the west? So hurricanes, once again, to this intensity, they wobble. They move and they wobble a lot. So we're basically getting ready to watch this storm turn straight west-northwest, and then eventually this evening, probably around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, we should have a straight northeast turn. So this is going to take a northeast turn right around midnight, 1, 2 o'clock-ish in the morning. So once that northeast sharp turn happens, this thing's only moving 3 miles per hour. It's not going to take a lot to get this thing to turn northeast. So we're probably going to see this thing track just a little bit further to the northwest, southwest here before it officially stops and changes and goes northeast. It does take time, though, for these storms. It's not going to be just like an instant, like, there it goes. Why is it doing a sharp turn here? Because we have a trough off the east coast that's way stronger that's going to basically hit this thing like a baseball and kick it out to sea. It's just the winds, it basically pulls it away. The winds from the trough are going to pull it away. Size of the storm. Sometimes the size of the storm can make a difference on how and how long it takes to turn. This is a pretty small, compact storm, so I would think it wouldn't take too much. Because if this was a lot larger of a storm, we would have more of an issue in terms of, I think it taking longer to turn or maybe going further west. But as of right now, no. All right, and it's interesting. All right, so 139 and 139. Interesting. This is going to be the worst hurricane in history for Jamaica. This is going to make Gilbert and Charlie back in 1988 and 1955 look like nothing on pen and paper. Both of those hurricanes were low-grade Cat 4s, high-end Cat 3s. This is a Cat 5 getting ready to make landfall. There's never been a Cat 5 in history to ever make landfall in Jamaica whatsoever. The intensity of this storm is going to be like this island has never seen before. And that's not me trying to scare anybody. That's legit straight from the National Hurricane Center. So... It's very possible. Yeah, if it goes through an eyewall replacement cycle, it could weaken to a Cat 4. I don't see that happening, though. I really don't. I'd be shocked. Yeah, catastrophic damage is imminent. Yep. We're going to have landfall in about 13 hours. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Yeah, we're going to have landfall in about 13 hours. I plan on being live most of the night tonight to cover. So if you guys are hopping in now, do hit that follow button. Also, if you're watching on YouTube as well, hit the sub button. We'll be live until about 6:30 here. I'll be live for about another 45 minutes. And then I've got to eat and get the kiddos to bed. And then we'll be back on tonight around 9:30, 10-ish. And then we'll be on for much of the night tonight. If I have to pull an all-nighter tonight, I will. I haven't had to pull an all-nighter all season. So we may have to. We'll see. I would like to stay up till at least 1 or 2 a.m., maybe 3, and then take a cat nap and then get back up for landfall. That might be what we do. We'll just see how things go tonight. If it starts to get crazy and things change or, you know, weird things happen, we'll be here when needed. My job is to cover weather for all 50 states and internationally, so I will continue to do that as much as I possibly can for you guys. Yes, I have the same access to those cameras, just straight from the link, Egg. I had somebody send me a link to those cameras, so we have cameras tonight. Hopefully they last. That would be a Cat 5 nap, I know, right? I've had to take a couple of them this year, especially when we were covering Aaron back at the beginning of the season. Can it shift? When you mean shift, like, what do you mean? Like, if like, it's shifting around now, it's wobbling. Yeah, if there's anybody that's watching the stream that's in Jamaica, prayers and thoughts are with you guys full-heartedly, significantly. This is gonna be a one to remember. Guys, I want y'all to know too, expect the National Hurricane Center to completely retire Melissa when this is over with. This name will never ever get used again, ever. It will be retired after this year. 100%. There is no doubt in my mind. This name will never get used again. I did not think when the list came out this year that this was going to be the name that would get retired, but very possible. When you have a very, very high fatality rate, and destructive, it's like a scale they have, I think. Haven't looked into it too much. I know Helene is going to be retired for sure. But it's a certain scale that they go off of for catastrophe and damage and all of that stuff, and they basically account for it. And then yeah, it's really their decision at the end of the day what they want to do with it. Yeah, I've definitely got people in here that went through Gilbert, and if you did, I appreciate you for sharing your stories. This is going to be nothing like Gilbert whatsoever. I was hoping this would be like a weaker storm, but it's just not the case. If you guys remember, if you guys have been following the channel for all of hurricane season this year, as we've been talking, I told you guys like 3 months ago, I said if we get to the end of this season and we haven't had any hurricanes or tropical systems in the Caribbean or the Gulf this year, when we do eventually get one, what is it going to do? And it did exactly what we talked about. We've had 90-degree Celsius water temperatures, or not Celsius, 90-degree Fahrenheit water temperatures all year long down here in the Caribbean, and we finally got a tropical wave to get in here, and here it went. It took 3 days for this thing to, actually it took 1 day for this thing to go from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane. So, it's just crazy. It's insane. Just perfect environmental conditions. Yeah, it'll be early tomorrow morning, Egg. Very early tomorrow morning. Yeah, once again, if I've got anybody in here that is watching from Jamaica, I appreciate it. 1, and 2, God be with you guys, for real. This is just gonna be, an awful. All right, let me see if we've got any updates. Could be yawning already, Jesus. Jamaica right now, it is 5:51. They are also, it's interesting. Yeah, Jamaica's 5:51 p.m., so they're same time zone as Central. Yeah. Yeah, we're just watching the hurricane plane come in. It doesn't look like pressure went down, at least on this run through, but I think they missed. I think they missed the eye. Pressure's at 910. 910.1, so 4 miles higher, 4 millibars higher. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning a minute ago. It's going to wobble. When this thing's getting ready to take a drastic turn, most hurricanes wobble, so we could see this thing a little bit further, but eventually it's going to get pulled to the northeast here. It's going to have to. There's no other meteorological explanation for this thing to keep going west. Just it wouldn't make sense. Yeah, oh, 910 is still very, very low. Absolutely 100%. This is a dangerous Category 5 hurricane, no doubt. So, and honestly, it looks like the wind field may intensify as well here, so. I know we've got another plane coming in as well, so we can pull that one up. Yeah, we've got another plane that'll be coming in here pretty soon as well. Yeah, the HAFS-A model and B model, one had this at 901 at landfall, and the other had this at 892. If we got down to 892, that would make Milton look like nothing last year happened. No United States impacts at all whatsoever from this. Yeah, HAFS-A went 892, which I thought was interesting. HAFS-A did really, really good, or not A, but B did. A little bit shocking. What is the highest on record? Hurricane Wilma is the highest hurricane on record in the Atlantic Basin with pressure of 882 millibars. Maximum sustained winds were 185. And that was a storm that hit Florida in 2005. If you're in Florida, you'll remember that one. Yeah, I was going to say, there's definitely some people in here that went through Wilma. I was only 4 years old when Wilma happened. It definitely looks like we may be seeing some intensification here with this. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks like they slightly missed the center of circulation on that run by, which can happen. So if even with that, it looks like pressure will be probably deeper. So we may have pressure around 903 or 904 potentially. So when that next plane comes in, it'll verify our update. Oh, it's going to turn, guys. It's going to turn. It's just taking time for it to turn. It's only moving at 3 miles per hour. You can't just right turn a hurricane like that easy. It does take time. How do we know it returned? Trust in data. Trust in data. Our models have never steered us the wrong way. Not in years. I had a lot of people in chat when we were covering Hurricane Aaron at the beginning of the year saying that, oh my God, it's going to hit the East Coast. It's going to defy the models. It's going to defy the models. It's not going to turn. And she turned. Absolutely. How is it going to turn? Yeah, so we've got a East Coast. So if you're in the East Coast, I'm gonna show you guys something here. I'm gonna do. Let's go to our models real quickly here so you guys can see this. Put this into perspective here. Let's see. Let me get this loaded in here. This is a powerful storm, though. I trust nothing. I get that, but you got to have faith in the forecast. I've done this about 1,000,000 times, so I can promise you it will turn. There's no way that it can go into the Gulf. There's no way that it can go to the East Coast because there will be nothing to push it that direction. Yeah, that's how it is a lot. That's how it is. It seems to be an error. A lot of people just think it's just going to do what it wants to do. Storms will do what they want to do, but you can't defy physics. So yeah, here is what's going to happen. All right, let me show y'all here on the full screen. Let me pull this up. Where's it at? Where's it at? Okay, here we go. Maybe. Here we go. So here is our 850. That is not what I wanted. There we go. This is what I wanted. Here's our 500 millibar height anomaly. So you guys see here is our hurricane. This is our trough right here. So when you have a hurricane working towards a trough, or you have a trough in the United States, it's deepening and dipping down southeast. This is bringing a lot of cold air to the southeast as we go towards the earlier portions of this coming up week here. This trough is a lot more powerful than this hurricane because it's a broader upper level low and it's compact over a wider spread of area. So what's going to happen is this low deepens, and overnight tonight, we're going to see Melissa get yanked to the northeast. And that's due to that upper level low that's coming down here and pulling it. It's like baseball. It's like baseball. You're taking the baseball and you're hitting it with a bat and it's flinging it out to sea. So there is no physical, logical way that this hurricane continue west past where it's, forecasted at. So there's, a little bit of a margin for error. I always tell people this, the storm can go 25 nautical miles west of the track. It can happen. The GFS shows that kind of further a little bit west scenario here, which is normal, but it will eventually have to turn and then go out to sea due to that trough coming in and swinging it. You can see it hits it like a baseball bat. That is meteorology 101 at its finest right there. Now, if this trough wasn't in place, and that was a worry about 2 weeks ago, when it wasn't existing on the models, but if this trough was not in place, then we would have ourselves a problem, but that's not the case here. So you can, like I said, you can thank this ball of cold air coming down out of Canada that's going to make half the United States below average next week, or this coming up week here. If you're on the East Coast or Florida or the Northeast, you're definitely going to be cold this week. But you can take the cold air and thank the cold air for doing this, because if it was not for that, we would have an issue coming into the Gulf next week. But that's not the case. So that is the best explanation that I can give from a meteorological standpoint on what's going to be happening. Yeah, the upper level low is just a ball of cold air coming out of Canada. So it's basically cold air from upper levels all the way down to the surface. That stronger low pressure gradient, like I said, it interacts with that low and it basically pulls it into it and it takes it out to sea with it. That's, like I said, the best explanation I can give. So in a general sense of things. So for everybody in here that just thinks that models are wrong and that our hurricane data is wrong, and the people that are flying into these storms and giving up their lives to fly into these storms literally to give us data is wrong, you might want to check the last 10 years, 15 years of hurricane data and see how well that's validated, because it's validated. I know a lot of people are like, oh, we've had storms in between 2005 and 2010 that missed the cone and that went in different directions. You guys got to remember, 15 years ago, our forecasting sucked. It was awful. When I was a kid, forecasting sucked. It made sense to have error at that point, but we have AI, we have all of these great things, and Google Deep AI, the new AI run models that came out this year to help forecast, have been better than the Euro and the GFS combined. So we are pretty good when it comes to forecasting tropical systems in terms of at least in a short to medium range forecast. We're still working on long range forecasting, but like I said, yeah, they ended up, there was a plane this morning that ended up having to leave because the storm was so strong, but they ended up getting back in there and getting another plane out there into it. So it was just sometimes the way they enter those eastern eye walls when they are very, very strong sometimes can give the plane pretty significant turbulence, and therefore safety is an issue. And we don't want anybody dying in a hurricane. We don't want that whatsoever. So not something good. Yeah, Google has done amazing. Absolutely amazing this year. I've been astonished. Yeah, the hurricane hunters go out there. They come out of Florida, some come out of Puerto Rico, some kind of different. They have them in different islands when they need to use them. So Like I said, you can see this may be moving southwest here. It's going to wobble, but eventually, it actually looks to me, what's getting ready to happen is we're not seeing that west trend anymore. It looks like we're already starting to see the trough yank this, because southwesterly movement basically means that, hey, this thing may be getting ready to come to a stop and then eventually loop and curve back out. That's what I'm gonna guess is getting ready to happen, because this was trending northwest pretty early this afternoon. I think we're about to see this thing kind of stall for a minute or two and then eventually get yanked to the northeast, because it doesn't look like it's tracking west anymore. It's going southwest now. So it looks like it's gonna take a halt at some point here. Hello, Mama Tracy. That's just kind of looking at the how it's positioned. So that may be getting ready. That's the best explanation that I can give you guys. So I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, it's outside the cone." No, you're fine. Hello, Kayla. Yeah, I think we're seeing a stall. I do think we're seeing a stall here. Interesting. So I will mention one thing. All right, and we'll start to talk about this if this becomes a trend going toward the end of the week here. We do have very, very light, and when I say light, we have very, very small and light support for potentially another storm trying to develop as we head towards the second week of November, on the long range ensembles and models coming out of the Caribbean. I just saw the GFS run 18Z do something stupid. So we may be tracking one more system before the season is over with, but we'll just kind of see what happens at that point. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Not enough support right now to get into all of that, but something I'm watching behind the scenes. Yeah, if the damage that is forecasted, if this storm does everything that's forecasted, I don't think anybody cruise-wise or vacation-wise will be going into Jamaica anytime soon. Anytime soon whatsoever. I don't see that. I don't see that being a thing. Yep, looks like we're getting a stall, and then we're going to see this thing get shoved to the north. I think we're finally starting to see this thing come to a halt and go north. No longer going west, moving southwest, kind of doing a little loop-de-loop here. You can kind of see it. Looks like it's starting to feel the force of that trough off the coast. So they're gonna nail this forecast pretty well, I think. Yeah, Bahamas, Eastern Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos. You guys are in a hurricane warning now. Yeah, it's still gonna hit Jamaica. Yeah, it will. So make sure y'all hit the follow button if you guys haven't. I'll be on here for about 40 more minutes, and then I'm going to wrap up stream. I've got to get the kiddos to bed and get them fed, and then we're going to be back on tonight around 9:30, 10-ish. We'll be covering this storm and tracking it live. We'll have cameras and everything as the winds and everything come in, as long as the cameras stay functional. And then depending on how tonight goes, we'll see if we stay all night long or if we get off and then get back on tomorrow morning. We'll just kind of see how things go. But we'll be here. We'll be here tonight covering. Cuba's going to get hit with a major hurricane. It's going to be Cat 4, Cat 3 status once it comes over Jamaica. It'll weaken a little bit, maybe significantly would be great to see. But Cuba is forecast to hit by a major hurricane by Cat 3. So it's just kind of how it is. Yeah, this plane may be going north and then down through, so we may not see this plane's run through on this go round, but we'll have it on the next one. You think it'll be borderline? I don't know. It's already a Cat 5, and it's not going to weaken that crazily before. I mean, we're talking, this is going to make landfall, guys, in 12 hours. It's not going to just weaken down to a Cat 3 or Cat 4 like that. I think it stays, it's forecasted to make landfall as a Cat 5, and I like that call. I think that's what we're looking at this point. This is well above, this is 25 miles above the threshold for Cat 5 status, so it's not just going to, like, weaken like that. It's crazy though how the weather patterns in the United States affect these systems. Yeah, there's not much. We don't have radar or anything, so it is. We are going to be watching the same thing. This is not repeat. This is just the. I mean, it is, but it's just the satellite. It's updating as it goes through time. This is all we have to watch, guys. We don't have radar or anything like we have in the United States. They don't have a radar site here, so we'll have cameras and stuff tonight. Yeah, there's no such thing as a Cat 6, so the scale stops at 5. Yeah, so it's wobbling. So what you guys are, we just talked about this a minute ago. What you're seeing is it's getting ready to get pulled to the northeast. It's basically coming to a halt. It's kind of wobbling south, southwest, and then west now. You're seeing kind of like a loop-de-loop, and then it's going to go to the northeast. We're about to see, I would say in the next 2 to 3 hours here, a northeast motion. You're basically having to take a major Category 5 hurricane and just push stop and then send it to the northeast. So it's going to do some weird stuff as it's slowing down. 170, 180, maybe higher than that in the mountains. It's going to go over the whole, most of the area. Yep. Thank you, mods. Thank you, weather team. You guys are doing awesome. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, Jamaica's become content. Yeah, there's a lot of people from the United States that do TikTok and that do social media that have just flown to the island over the last couple of days just so they can make content. I think it's the most stupidest thing ever. I'm actually really irritated with it. There's people on this island that literally couldn't get out because they don't have the money to get out or because they want to stay because that's their home, and I understand that. But there's people from the United States that literally flew there just to make content. It's so stupid. It's absolutely fucking stupid. I'm sorry for my language, but it's absolutely insane. And then you risk your life of being a part of the death total. Like, it makes no sense. Like, I've seen it all over my For You page. You guys know I do weather content. This is what I do for a living. And I get that on my For You feed. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, there's storm chasers that I know that I'm close to that are there, that have to be there to help people. And those storm chasers are there from the United States to get information out to people. So when there is no communication, they can get it back. So I'm full okay with the storm chasers being there from the US. Like I said, I'm close with a lot of them that are there already, or that I know of that are there, and that's completely fine. But if you're a tourist from the United States and you're flying into Jamaica just to make a TikTok video or just to live stream it and say, "Oh, I'm in a Cat 5 hurricane, watch me, give me your money," that's not good. That's not okay. Like, that's insane. Reed's not there, no. I know Jordan Hall is. I've got a couple other friends that are there as well. Hold on one second. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Also, guys, there are 600 people in here, and I appreciate y'all for being here, but if anybody is going to be rude in chat, one, you're not going to hurt my feelings, and two, you're going to get blocked. There's like 30 mods in here. There's no need to be rude. We're giving life-saving information. So if you're not happy with what I'm doing or happy with what I'm saying, you can leave and go watch another live stream that gives out false information. Be my guest. It's crazy. People have to be rude. It just makes no sense. Is this hurricane stronger than Katrina in intensity? Almost, yes. Pressure-wise, no. You guys know, if you've watched here, I'll clock it when it needs to be clocked. Absolutely. Some people are like, don't feed it into the drama on stream. It's chat. It's social media. I get that. I clock things when it wants to be clocked, though. Gotta have a little bit of fun sometimes. Gotta roast some people here and there. Come on. Alrighty, let's see here. Yeah, if I've got any people in here in Jamaica, I appreciate y'all, one, for watching, and two, my heart, my thoughts, my prayers. If I could give y'all all hugs, I would absolutely do it. I feel for you guys. This shit sucks. This does. I would never ever want to be put in the middle of something like this. I love weather, and I love tracking weather, and I love being in front of weather, but this is a situation, after I watched my hometown get destroyed by Hurricane Helene last year, I don't ever want to be in a situation like this. My hometown had the highest fatality count and got wiped off the map last year. Completely. I'm heartbroken for you guys. When is it expected to make that turn? It's getting there. We getting there very slowly. Like I said, we're seeing this kind of wobble southwest here. We're seeing this storm come to a halt, and it looks like we're about to see it finally go northeast, where it's basically stopped, which is what I was thinking was going to happen. Yeah, this is definitely not man-made. Hurricanes are not man-made. We can have a whole conversation on that another day, but that's, yeah, the conspiracy theories out there too are wild. We won't get into that on this stream, but I've been messaged some crazy stuff, trust me. So if you guys remember, if you guys, like I said, have been watching my page, for the last 2 to 3 weeks, we actually have been tracking this system. This was a tropical wave that came off the coast of Africa, like most tropical systems and hurricanes do during hurricane season. Came off the coast of Africa about 2.5 weeks ago. We were tracking it. You guys can watch all my videos over the last couple of weeks. They're all on there where we were watching the system. It got named Invest 97 or 98L, I think about a week and a half ago at this point. It became Tropical Storm Melissa about 3 days ago, and then now we have Hurricane Melissa. So we've been tracking this storm that came off the coast of Africa for almost 2.5 weeks now. We've been telling people in the Caribbean basin here that this was going to be a major system. Like we've been talking about this for almost a week and a half to 2 weeks now. Like that's how long it's been. So the idea that people don't know that this is coming, or that they, think it's just going to miss the island, it's insanity. It's crazy to me. Like we have the technology to forecast this stuff very, very well, and people just don't listen and don't buy into it. So like I said, it blows my mind. It's crazy. But yeah, we've been watching this for quite a bit of time. Yes, that is true. I've seen that a lot. The majority of houses in Jamaica are built with strong, and I'm hoping that holds true. I really, really do. When is landfall? In about 12 hours. Is it a Cat 5? Yes, a very strong Cat 5. So once again, we are about to officially see that northeast turn. Excuse me. You can see, like I said, how it's kind of wobbling, and then it looks like it's going to get sent off finally. I think I'm going to play a couple of frames back here, and we can look at this again. We can look at the track of this here. Yeah, so look, this is all day today. West, northwest, northwest, and then we come to a halt. So it finally dove southwest, and then it looks like it's getting ready to go northeast. You can see it kind of getting tugged. Yeah, that's another thing too. This is literally like we are threshold reaching the mathematical limit for how strong a storm can be. Absolutely 100%. When you get a hurricane close to 900 millibars or under that threshold, you are basically looking at how physical, like how mathematically physics the atmosphere can be. Like we've only had a couple storms in history go below 900. It is very rare that it happens, and when it does happen, you're basically messing with physics at that point. It's insane. It's crazy. This is why, guys, if you ever want to become a meteorologist and go through the path that I'm going through right now in meteorology school, physics are a big thing. For anybody that thinks getting a 4-year degree and becoming a meteorologist is easy, it is not whatsoever. It is a lot of calc. It is a lot of physical equations. Every single ingredient in the atmosphere, dew points, instability, shear, temperatures, there is a formula that is like 2 chalkboards wide for every single ingredient that we have to use to forecast severe weather, tropical systems, rotation on a storm, stuff like that. It is a lot more complex than people think. And people think, oh, we just get paid to lie. We just get paid to, give out BS information. No, it's a lot of work to get to be a degreed meteorologist. So if you were interested in that, if you're a weather nerd and you want to get into it, I absolutely say go for it. Absolutely, because I'm doing it. I've got 2 years left of school. I've been doing weather tracking for almost 10 years now. I've had this page for 3 years now. So I've been doing this a long time. But if I've got any young ones out there that are interested, I'm still young. I'm only 24 years old. But if I've got anybody out there that is an aspiring Met, absolutely go for it and do it. Let's see if it's moving left. What's it gonna make turn hard? It's already doing that. We're seeing it getting ready to go here. It's stationary pretty much now. And then we should, like I said, see that northeast jog here pretty soon. Well, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate y'all that watch the channel. I appreciate y'all that come here for updates. That's what we're here for. We are here to give life-saving information and educate you guys in the process on how stuff happens. So once we get rid with Melissa, we're going to be getting ready to dive into winter weather season and talking about the winter storm stuff. It's going to be lots of fun. Super excited about that. What causes it to turn back right? The trough that's coming off the East Coast. We got a strong upper level low that's going to kink this thing out. I am 100% sure it is going to turn. I have never been more 100% in my life about that. I don't say the four-letter word yet. I know snow, right? Some people may see some snow flurries this weekend in the Northeast. Yeah, there is no man-made process to this. I respect anybody that has opinions out there on anything, but when it comes to meteorology, we can have that conversation on another live stream. Absolutely. I've been telling people this on my streams for 3 years now. If there's anybody else that believes that hurricanes are man-made, or that severe weather is man-made, or that flooding events, or all of these natural disasters that have happened this year are man-made, send me a article that gives me proof. Send me something. I've yet to have anybody do it that's actually been like an actual article or a document or a study done on it. I have lots of meteorologist friends that come in the stream that are degreed Mets that have been in the field for many, many, many years. And they can come up here as well, and they can tell you the same thing. We can have some conversations another day. Cloud seeding is a thing. It is legit. It is used in the United States in some areas, but it only accounts for 0.0001% of rain molecules that are released from the atmosphere. It is not enough to cause anything near a general thunderstorm to even pop up. Very, very low end stuff. But like I said, theories and ideas and opinions and concepts are great to have. Absolutely, 100%. It keeps the mind turning. But when you're trying to apply that type of stuff to like weather and things like that, it's just doesn't make any sense. Yes, and used more in the Middle East. Correct. Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to like have an argument or, say everybody's wrong or anything like that. But when it comes to the actual explanation and studies behind it, I can give y'all that anytime. Yes, it's gonna go back on the projected path. We can already see that happen in here. It's gonna start that northeast jog. It basically just came to a halt, and we're just kind of waiting for that trough to send it to the northeast here. So we've got hurricane hunters getting ready to go back into this. I will let you guys know, I do have to get off here in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I've got to get the kiddos to sleep and get them fed and everything because my lovely significant other is at a concert in Chicago right now. So I will do that. We're going to be back on live stream around 9:30, 10 o'clock Central Time tonight. And then we'll be on for most of the night tonight covering the system and talking about it. So we'll be covering it for you guys. Give me some time. I'm going to have to eat some food too because I know I'm probably not going to eat again until tomorrow. So... when is the next advisory? In about 20 minutes. So we'll get that next advisory at 8 o'clock in. I don't think we're going to see a lot of changes with it because we haven't seen a lot on the recon in terms of changes. But we'll see. You never know. Thank you guys for all the follows. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. So just a heads up too, guys, I don't cover just internationally. I do cover all 50 states weather, severe weather, tropics, winter weather. So this is basically my full-time job. I just don't get paid for it. That'll come when I'm done with school. But I love doing this. I love getting on here for you guys. And I'm able to do it while I'm in school. And it's a blessing. And I appreciate y'all hopping in. I think this is the most people we've had on a TikTok live stream in like months. I think the last time we had this many people was when we covered the derecho and the EF5 tornado in June back up in North Dakota. So I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'm going to be back on tonight around 9:30, 10 o'clock Central Time. So if you guys want to put that on your calendars, it'll be or on your clocks or alarm clocks, that's when it'll be. Hello from Australia. I've been to Australia. I went and competed in a Junior Olympics marathon in Australia back in 2019. I went to Brisbane. Very beautiful island. Very beautiful there on the East Coast. The Gold Coast is gorgeous. Any pet impacts to Florida? No. No, the jet stream is more powerful. I've never seen a hurricane not get picked up by jet stream. If we were anywhere near worried about that, the cone would be well further to the west. Yeah, guys, I want you guys to understand as well. When the National Hurricane Center issues these cones, the error for the cone here, the why the cone is so wide and why it expands out so wide and as it goes out in time, that is to account for error. So if there's any potential for an error in a forecast or for something to shift or move around, that's where that error is at. And like right now, you're seeing, the storm circulation is right on the end of the cone, but that's because it's getting ready to go to the northeast. We just watched this storm over the last hour here on stream kind of go west and then southwest, and now it's going back south because it's basically coming to a stop before it gets pulled out to the northeast. Oh, BG, I appreciate you. I don't need any of that. You are good. I appreciate the love and support. Exactly. Yes, they are. Yeah, no, this is a pretty confident forecast, guys. I'm not worried about the trend in a different direction. This is a pretty good forecast here. Here's actually our trough. Here's our cold front that's gonna, like I said, pull this thing out. So what's up, Kindle? Oh man, it's technically not off the forecast path. There's margin for error here. So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's lots of signals on the pole here. Like I said, outflow is going to the north, convection's going to the north. She's about to go to the north. Yeah, this is the second year in history we've had three Category 5 hurricanes ever. Last year, or the last time it happened, was 2005 when Hurricane Wilma happened, which is very interesting as well. So, given the water temperatures this year and just how things timed out and where storms, went and moved through, I'm very blessed that every single one of our hurricanes this year went out to sea, because if that was not the case, we could have had three Cat 5s make landfall. It's very much a thing. So, very, very lucky, but very, very crazy. I ain't never seen an E55 tornado. That's wild, Kindle. God, that's insane. That's actually really insane. The last update was, we'll see here. Yeah, 3 miles per hour northwest, so that'll change on the 8 o'clock. Yeah, 3 miles. So I will have cameras too tonight, guys, whenever we get things going. So here's Kingston. This is in Kingston, live. Looks pretty quiet right now. Some outer rain bands coming in. Let me pull this up so you guys can see. There's Kingston right now. This is where they're going to have the worst of the storm surge. Most of it. What's up, Shan? If anybody's out there tonight, please be safe, please. What's the difference between a hurricane and a tornado? Hurricanes go counterclockwise, tornadoes go clockwise. Sometimes they can go anticyclonic, but... And then one's over land, one's over water. Hurricanes form from very warm water temperatures. Tornadoes form from upper level air masses. Are you looking at South Dakota? No, 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 no. What grade did I know I wanted to be a meteorologist in? When I was born, my mom sat me in front of the Weather Channel when I was 3 years old, and from there it took off. I've been following that path for the last 21 years. Yeah, Northeast Eyewall is going to be ridiculous. This. I'm really worried about. I'm honestly worried about the storm surge here in Kingston. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And then on top of that, we're going to have about 30 inches of rainfall over the next 2 days. So I really think these roadways are going to be potentially underwater too. It's what worries me the most. You see all these cars driving out. You see the nice rain ongoing. There's already some puddling out there. We're about to see some ridiculous rainfall rates once these outer bands start to move in. So Basically, yeah, yeah. Hey, Kenna, that's a good thing though. It's a good thing. Landfall's in 12 to 13 hours, roughly. I know it's like they know that we're watching. Every time we do a live stream, it's like they know that we're watching. There's gonna be a lot of people watching these cameras. Yeah, I've actually met some Jamaicans before. They are very, very nice people. Absolutely. Another camera that we're going to be watching tonight is going to be the bridge. This is an area that I really want to watch. This is Flatbridge, Jamaica. You'll see here, this is going to look different because it's at nighttime. We're going to have to see how high these water levels rise. That's what I'm really interested to see. And they zoom in right when I'm saying it. But I'm very interested to watch this camera tonight. I've got a little bit of a thought process on how this is going to unfold. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But this bridge will probably be underwater. I'll be live for about another 15 minutes, and then I'm going to get off, and then I'll be back tonight. So. Yeah, this bridge, it's like they know that we're watching it. Yes, this is the biggest. This will be the strongest hurricane ever in history to hit the state of, or to hit the island of Jamaica. Yeah, Millibar didn't change. 910 is what we had on the last run through. So I haven't seen anything. They've got a new plane getting ready to go through here in a minute, so we'll see what that looks like. What is my opinion on pressure? Well, depending on structure and what this does here in the next little bit, we could make a run at sub 900. I want to see what this next fly through does. We'll see what it does as it starts to jog to the north. I don't know. We may get close, but may not. Yeah, Ashley, prayers for him, dude. I hate that. We're gonna be live streaming this whole event, Ashley. So if you want to stay in here as well, we'll be keeping updates. 906 was the last run on the update, but Recon just got a 910, so it could have been a little bit higher or lower, dependent. They have planes in there right now. What's up, Kinsey? Yeah, power's already gone out 3 times. That's concerning, especially with the higher wind gusts still well offshore. We'll go back here. Yep, looks like we see a little jog east there. We're finally getting ready to pick this thing back up. What it looks to be. Let's see. I'm looking at a couple of things here. Yeah, they did this morning. One of the planes did. What is the satellite doing with this? I think we go sub 900 on this run. I really do. This thing just picked up. So I want to show you guys this. Hold on. Hold on. Where'd it go? There it is. So you guys can see how over the last couple of hours here, we haven't had a lot of those pink cloud tops. Those are higher cloud tops there. Look at it now. This is over the last 2 hours. Look where we're at now. This is basically almost enclosed. This looks to be, honestly, the strongest that this storm has been in its lifespan right now. I mean, we are almost wrapped around in 90 degrees Celsius cloud tops. So we may have the strongest peak of this intensity in the next hour or two with this storm, based off of what this looks like. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's just kind of watching it. We may just have hit peak. So they've got a plane going in there right now, so. Eyewall was, yeah, I saw, Chris, we had an eyewall merger happen about a couple hours ago. It didn't go through a whole eyewall replacement, but it ended up having a merger, so it allowed for the eyewall to basically rebuild. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we are so close to hurricane force winds on the island, so. No, this means it's going to strengthen. Not the severe. What? Not the severe thunderstorm warning in Colorado. They got 2 planes in there now. They've been doing missions every other couple of hours, roughly. So we'll see what they get here. They're getting close. Where was... That's so random. So, y'all make sure you guys follow me if you haven't followed yet. We're going to get off here in about 10 to 15 minutes. I've got to get off and get the kids ready for bed. And then we'll be back around 9:30, 10. And then we'll be on here well to the overnight hours tonight, tracking and covering the system for you guys. Yeah, it's getting ready to turn. We're seeing it come to a halt, and it looks like it's getting ready to go northeast. This is worst case scenario, I think, at this point. Absolutely worst case scenario. If there is anybody that needs to contact me, if they're in the area here, or if they're on the island or have friends on the island, you can send me a message. Feel free to. I'll try and get back to as many people as I can possible and keep updates. And I always like to do that to people. That way they have an open source of communication. And I'll try and answer back as to many people as I can. So. Okay. I just want to see this. I want to see this next run through here. Can it get stronger? Absolutely. Could push 180, 185. Definitely could get stronger, especially with what we're seeing here. Definitely didn't think that was going to be possible, but it looks like it is. I think we're just messing with physics right now. It also looks like the eye wall itself is closing in. Like it looks like it's getting smaller. Could they reach 200? Sure. Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? Who knows? Like, you want to see this from... I know, right? I bet this thing is insane from space. Yeah, Chris, there's not really been anything higher than I think 190 from what I've ever seen from the database. It's possible. I think anything's possible. I think we're looking at 185-mile-per-hour winds. I really want to stay. We're going to stay until this thing flies in. I want to see this update. I want to see this next run through and what they're getting. So we'll stay here until this plane flies through, and then we'll get off. I'm curious if we've got 185. Why is it so strong? Because it's sitting over top of 90-degree water temperatures and no shear to the north or nothing. Yeah, tighter compact eye means wind field's expanding out. Where's the island? Literally right here. It's in all this mess. Yeah, this may be the most impressive this hurricane has looked in its lifespan. This is very impressive. Yeah, it's about to move north. Is there a chance of it tolling over the island? Not really. Like I said, the trough it's going to come through. It's going to move it through pretty quickly, hopefully. When I say quickly, it's going to move it through in about 2 days. No, there's no such thing as a cat 6 or 7. It stops at 5. I would guess 180 was spread out. I think it's 50 miles. Let me look at it and see here. It is. Yeah, 30 to 50 seems about right. Yeah, 30 to 50, maybe 60. Any chance it doesn't turn north? No. No, I'm not worried about it. Oh, here's some gusty winds. This is west, I think West Parade is where this is at. Some tropical storm gust. I'm in Western Kentucky. I'm in the States. Yeah, it'll deteriorate, but it's not expected to strengthen again now. Once it gets past Jamaica. Predicted flood surges are up to 13 feet. Could be a little bit higher than that. Yeah, Montego Bay, you guys are going to be getting a Cat 3 more than likely out of this. It's going to be a major hurricane when it goes up into your backyard. That's also going to be an issue. So, all right, let me get back to Radar Mega here. I want to pull this back up so we can see what this update is. We're so close to getting this new run in. Let's see here. Yeah, this definitely looks a lot more stronger than what the initial satellite's been over the last couple of runs. It's just crazy, guys. It's just crazy. We're getting a Cat 5 into Jamaica. It just blows my mind. The more we talk about it, I think the more it just like blows my mind, genuinely. Is it pulling west? It's just sitting. It's just hanging out for a little bit. It's like I said, it's basically stalling out and getting ready to get yanked to the north. It's trying to fight the trough, is what I think it's doing. Yeah, there was a plane earlier that had to turn around because the turbulence was crazy. Yeah, I saw the drop sounds earlier from 190. Yeah, I saw that as well. I wonder if that's surface or if that's a little bit elevated though. That's gonna be my biggest thing there, is just wondering what that is. Yeah, and that's something, it's hard to not think about that whenever you're covering a storm like this. You're like, where is it going to go? Is it going to stop? Is it going to move? There's always the question marks. But you guys got to remember too, like I said earlier, our forecasting is so much better than it was 15 to 20 years ago. We've been pretty spot on with almost every single system since 2013. So it's a lot of headway in the last 12 plus years here. So I'm very confident in this forecast. I know it's going to get pulled to the north. I was confident with Aaron, confident with Humberto, confident with Gabrielle. So I'm very confident with this forecast. If I was even worried slightly about something changing, I would tell you guys. I'm not held to a contract to not say my opinion. I'll say my opinion. So, excuse me. I believe we were seeing 90, negative 90 Abram. Yeah, that's the thing about it. I know a lot of people want it to miss. There's still a chance it could go a little bit further to the west on the cone, but I'm pretty confident in a landfall. Like I said, you can kind of see it hanging out here and stalling. And then eventually, like I said, it's gonna get pulled to the north. It's just when does that northern track happen? Where does it go? I want this next run to come out here. I'm hoping landfall can get pushed back closer to like late tomorrow morning so I don't have to stay up all night. We'll see. If anybody would like to get Mesomat coffee for tonight, y'all can. Just saying, we may need it. Oh man, I haven't done a late night long live stream in a long time. We were up till 1 the other morning covering severe weather, but this is a little bit different. Let's take a straight shot of espresso, no right? Yeah, I don't get paid for this, sadly, guys. This is me my own willing to do this. So thank y'all for the follows. I appreciate it. Yeah, no problem, guys. No problem. Oh, Alicia, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the gift. Thank you. That was pretty cool. You're amazing. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Yeah, so my plan right now, like I said, we'll get back on here around 9:30, 10, once I get everything taken care of the kiddos, get them fed, get them put to bed. We'll get back on here around 9:30, 10, start to cover this as it gets closer inland or towards the land. And then depending on what the forecast for landfall is, I may take a power nap between like 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. and then get back on at 6:30 for you guys. Just know for any of y'all that watch me regularly, I will not have a forecast video tomorrow whatsoever. If we're going to get on and cover tomorrow morning, there will not be a video at all. It'll just be straight live stream tomorrow. So if everybody's okay with that, that'll be what we do. When will it make landfall? Right now between 6 a.m. and 10 is what I'm thinking. Maybe been pushed back a little bit. We'll see. All right, let's see what we got here. $136. Interesting. We'll see. Pressure is at... Yeah, it's not even through yet there. Thank you, Alan, for the lightnings, by the way. I appreciate it as well. Be about 156. I think we're definitely higher than 136. That's definitely for sure. I'm looking at one more update here. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing... It's being weird. We may have to wait for it to fully update. There's so many people on this website. There we go. There's a higher wind gust, I think. It just stops at like 136. It's definitely higher than that. Yeah, it's very stationary right now. It's feeling the effects of the trough. So like I said, it was going west and it's coming to a halt. Both planes are going in, so... All right, y'all. I'm gonna look at some data coming in here over the next little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and get off here and get ready to get the kids to sleep and get some food in their stomachs. And I'll be back in about 2-ish hours if everybody's cool with that. Once we get on here, we'll be on here tonight to cover. We'll talk. We'll watch cameras. All of that lovely stuff. If anybody ever wants to ever send a donation, you guys can, where it says pp.mesomat. That is the donation link. You guys can always go there. Link is in my bio as well. Other than that, I'll see everybody back in here again in just a little bit. I appreciate y'all for tapping, the gifts, the love, the support, the follows, the subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Weather team, thank you as always as well. And we'll see you guys back in here again in a little bit.